Since everybody out there in YouTube land, I'm your host once again, Dan Thornton, and I want to thank you all for tuning in today, Lions Talk Live morning show edition. And yes, as I look at the screen, I notice I might be somebody from the movie Tron back from the early '80s. Apparently, my shirt is such a color that the camera is actually taking it out. So it is what it is. I just noticed that. As you're noticing from the thumbnail of today's video, I didn't really want to do a breaking news video for the second straight day, but I thought it justified it. As you can tell, NFL Network / ESPN analyst Daniel Jeremiah, he came out yesterday and offered his thoughts that he really thinks the Detroit Lions are going to be trading up in the NFL draft. He notes where the team is, and you can find this on USA Today. Again, I'm not going to take credit where credit's due. This was also further corroborated by Dave Burkett of the Detroit Free Press. So you have two prominent organizations in the media landscape that have come out and confirmed later in the day yesterday. Dave Burkett's article came out at roughly 5:30. USA Today, I think, just maybe a minute or two before that. But they came out and they both said the same thing. They are now grossly aware the Detroit Lions are trying to trade up in the NFL draft. Basically Jeremiah comes out and says, quote, they are knocking on the door, they being the Detroit Lions. Let's see, they're right on the cusp of being a championship team. So if there's a time to be aggressive, this would be it. And, I'm not going to bore you guys with the entire article. You can read through it. He notes basically where the team's at, where the NFC is, how impactful a true blue chipper would be on this team. He seems to lean towards the cornerback position or the offensive line as far as where he would anticipate the Lions would trade up for. He does note that there's a couple other spots too. He does think that the Lions are, if they're going to go cornerback, they're going to go for Arnold from Alabama or Mitchell for Toledo. He notes how their local visits he's heard went, just stuff like that. So he also does point out, as far as the offensive line, the overall health of the offensive line is very good, but he also does note, or Jeremiah does note, that the Lions need a little bit of youth on that offensive line. So yesterday's video, if you saw the one later in the day, I think it was around 2 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the afternoon, something like that. Maybe it was 2:30. 2:30. I remember because I was talking about Netflix's earnings call, which was at 4 o'clock at the close of the market. So, at any rate, at roughly 2:30 yesterday, I got some information from some people that I trust specifically in the greater Detroit media landscape. One of them in particular has a history, in my experience, of really being on top of the NFL draft and getting intimate, detailed information about some things the Lions might be looking at. That individual gave it to me that the Lions were targeting moving up to get to 3 very specific people. And I thought, probably like most of you guys who watched the video, it was very interesting that one of those people was an offensive tackle from Washington. I don't think many people foresaw that coming. So the fact that that was listed, along with Dallas Turner and who was the other one? I'm forgetting his name. Verse. The defensive edges. I think we all got that those would be understandable targets for the Detroit Lions. The tackle from Washington, that was kind of catching off guard, but Jeremiah's statements kind of corroborate that the Lions might be indeed looking for that. He goes on to say basically about drafting an offensive lineman. There's actually even a direct quote, and here it is. I wouldn't rule that out, Jeremiah said of the Lions trading up. They've got some age on the offensive line, so if there's a guy that they feel they'd love to go up after, they go and get it. That wouldn't shock me at all. Or the corner position is one they can continue to look at. They've done a lot of homework on the corner class in talking to some agents over the last week. So, yeah, I think if one of the top corners starts to drift a little bit, they could go up and do that as well. So it seems to further corroborate that there is growing speculation, I guess you could say, and information leaking out across multiple different people within, I guess you could say, the hierarchy of the NFL draft / media, that the Lions are indeed making these calls to trade up. The Lions and Brad Holmes, it seems to appear that they're not interested in having 7 draft picks this year. They want just a couple very specific players to come on board. And, the more that we're getting people in the hierarchy of the NFL and the NFL Network, ESPN, the media landscape overall, it does seem like Brad Holmes is going to be making some phone calls on draft night. All right. Before we get into this video at earnest and get into it at depth, you guys all know the local routine. If you haven't yet subscribed Lions Talk Live, please consider doing so, making that push to get to 6,400 subs. And I want to say we're like 2 new subscribers away, 1 new subscriber away, it looks like. So how about this? Looking for the push to get to 6,500 subscribers. So we're 101 subscribers away. Also, if you're enjoying the video, the work I do here on the show, hit the thumbs up button. You guys all probably know it helps the channel out a lot. So if you're willing to just take 2 seconds of your time, hit that thumbs up button, I surely would be thankful. Last but never least, if you're looking to buy or sell property anywhere in the state of Michigan, give me a call or shoot me a text. You see the number on the screen, 269-998-2384. Let me work for your behest, see if I can save you some money. Got a deal yesterday. I was able to save the buyer of a property $18,000, hoping to get it down a little bit more. I'd like to get it closer to $20,000. So if you want somebody who really enjoys the negotiation process, plus is going to educate you on how home construction works, so you know what to look for as far as issues with the home, like if there's too much clay on the side of the soil, underneath the soil, how that impacts things, look at the ceilings, et cetera, et cetera. Give me a call, shoot me a text. Let's see if we can help you out. All right, let's get into it. Lions Talk Live morning show getting going. Yeah, I mean, I know we've talked about it for a little bit, the trade up, trade down scenario, but it does seem now, based on Jeremiah's story, based on the information I was given yesterday, and I guess a week prior when I think I came out and told you guys, I've got people telling me that the Lions are looking to trade up with the Colts or the Rams, which also means they're probably talking to other people. He did have Sports Illustrated come out, I want to say a couple days later, and say that they're aware of the Lions and Colts talking about a potential trade. So it all does seem to be coming together that Brad Holmes is indeed not interested in staying at 29. He wants to go up. It sounds like somewhere in the early 20s to, somewhere in the low teens to acquire a person. We're less than a week away. Here's my question to everybody watching the show, the Do Crew. Who are you trading up for, and what are you willing to trade away to get this particular player, whatever it is, whatever you think it should be? Let's hear you guys talk. All right, Moonscar, good morning. Dan, the crew, back at you. Hopefully having a good one, buddy. JDC, good morning, all. Good morning, JDC. Mike the Marine, howdy, Dan, Lions faithful. Happy Friday. Happy Friday to you, too. Hopefully you're going to have a great weekend. Moonscar, happy Friday, Gunny. There you go. Hooker time. Hild Do Crew. All right, we'll go with that. Hello to you, too, Hooker time. Let's see, Mike the Marine, question. If you were to buy a new Lions jersey, which color version and what player can't to put a special name on it? If it had to be a current player, man, for me, it'd probably be James Houston. In what color? I don't know. I'd probably go with the dark ones, just because they stand out a little bit more, in my opinion. You can tell they're clearly different than some of the prior ones, where some of the lighter ones do kind of blend in with some of the prior versions of the Lions upgrades. All right, Robert G. Good morning, Dan and Duke Crew. Back at you, Robert. Kurt, good morning, Dan and Duke Crew. Yeah, thanks for that. Let's see, Frank the Tank from the East Side. Love the uniforms personally. I always liked the all-white Go Lions. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I think they did a good job with it. They weren't as game-changing as I thought maybe they would be, but I do think they did a very good job with them, especially when you add in the helmet with it. I think that will really make them pop. Hooker time. So the new Lions garb for me is good because I like that they didn't make huge changes. Black jerseys look good. Blue helmet is unique. I will go with that. Yeah, that's kind of where I was thinking with things. So yeah, I'll go with that. Frank the Tank East Side. Woo! 100% with that. The first woo of the show. And before I forget, and I were driving around yesterday. I was talking about. I was like, talking about Don Burr wanting to ban the woo. Everybody in the Do Crew kind of now, coming at them with the woo a little bit more. I think it's time for a woo t-shirt for the Do Crew. So she's going to make something, I guess, and put it out there. So if you don't know, if you want to go to lionstalklive.com, that's the website. You can order the Motor City Maulers, Dew Crew, glasses, mugs, t-shirts, whatever it is, sweatshirts. You can do that, and I'll let you guys know when she puts the woo t-shirts up there. And if you want one, great. If not, that's okay too. All right, Detroit North, greetings and salutations, all back in black. Yes, I agree with that. And you know what? I like the new uniforms, especially those ones. All right, Steve Rogers, coach, congrats on getting the news yesterday. First, I read Jeremiah's story that came out later in the day. Props to you, Guy. You were on it hours before everyone else. Just, kind of how it goes in the world of journalism. Sometimes, somebody's going to get it first. My anticipation is, if you ultimately look at things, Dave Burkett or Jeremiah's story, Daniel Jeremiah's story, they probably had them about the same time I did. The only problem is knowing who they work for, they have to put them through certain legal readers first, just make sure there's no issues, and then it gets out. But that process, can take 5 minutes. It can take a couple hours, but I'm going to go out on a limb and guess everybody got it about the same time. That's one of the advantages of YouTube. Since I don't really try to, I make money off my videos, but I don't shoot the video and then wait for it to process and upload and go up. I just go live. So I know we talked about yesterday, live videos on YouTube, you don't get paid for. You get paid once they're no longer live and now they monetize. But to me, it's more important just getting the information out first, because I do this for fun. I make enough money, like I tell you guys, for my morning Mountain Dew and hot dog. That's about it. So I just enjoy doing it. So I'd rather just get it out live, get it out right, get it to you guys so you guys can enjoy it and then go from there. But thank you for that, Cap. Moonscar Lions looking to trade up equals Brand Holmes doing his due diligence, exclamation point. Put some of that villain fear out there, pressure those other GMs into making a mistake in our favor. Yeah, and it definitely could be. All he's doing is trying to rattle cages, rattle sabers, whatever you want to say, get other people to make moves that they wouldn't normally make so he can profit off that. That's totally possible. Yes, it is, Moonscar. All right, Bo, good morning, Dew Crew, Superdome or bust, exclamation point. Black uniforms look great. I would agree with that. I would agree with that. I was talking with the Sarge, Tony Libretto, about him yesterday, and I said, man, just the tops alone made me think of like the Joey Harrington black jerseys, with Rodgers and all them. But when you add in the pants, you add in the helmet and everything, then I think it looks great. I'm happy with the other ones. Yeah, the other ones aren't bad. They're just the black ones obviously are vastly different than some prior renditions. All right, Mike the Marine, I have Hutchinson in blue/gray and thinking new black uniform is awesome with that helmet. Player is Sewell. All right, we'll go with that. All right, Robert G, trading up, question mark. How far up is the question? Man, that is the question. And it really just comes down to what somebody's going to require for you to go up and get there. It's my guess we'll be giving up. If we're going to go up to, say, 13 or 15, it would be my anticipation we're giving up a first, a second, and then maybe something else, like a 6th, 7th rounder. In return for that pick, I would say we're giving up our first. We'd be getting their first, and then probably some lower end picks, maybe like a 5th and 7th rounder, something like that. But we'll have to wait and see what happens. Trump, woo, 100%. Good morning to you. Burger time. Good morning, Dan. I want to take a minute to say thank you so much to Matt Grice for your generous donation. Yeah, generous donation yesterday. It was unbelievable. Thanks, man. And thanks, Dan, for reaching out to me. So, as you guys know, Bergs and his family are doing a fundraiser to help with mental awareness. There was a Lions, Dew Crew member who reached out to me. I didn't have the link anymore, at least without digging through a bunch of stuff. That person couldn't access it on the show for whatever reason. So I gave him Berg's number. And yeah, I guess they made a very kind donation. So kudos to everybody helping out with that. It's mental health, mental awareness. It's tough on a lot of different people. I mean, anybody watching this show, I'm guessing, has had a moment in time, maybe a few, where, it just feels like the weight of the world's on your shoulders. And to me, it's upon everybody to try to help everybody else out. Some people, struggle with it longer than others. Some people get over it quickly. But the biggest thing is to make sure everybody knows they're not alone. So if If any point in time you need someone to talk to, you're just having a bad day or something, reach out to somebody. Don't put the weight of the world on your shoulders. Make sure you got a friend. All right, Drake, what do you got? At Robert G, that's mine too. Fair enough. And good morning, all. All right, Frank the Tank set a timer for 3 years. Now they want competition at every position. It makes you play some better when everybody wants your spot. Yes, I agree with that 100%. That's why on teams I coach, I don't name starters. You want to be a starter, the practice before the game, you better earn it, because that's what we're going to go with. Whoever scores the highest, does the best in practice, that's going to be your starters the next game. All right, Trump's black jerseys for road games would be sweet. Yeah, and I bet you that's where they're probably going with it. Maybe. I wonder if they'll wear the black ones at home and then the whites on the road. I don't know. I guess we'll see what happens with that. All right, Dr. Detroit, hate the black jerseys, but the helmets make it look decent. Fair enough. We'll go with that. JP, good morning, all. Good morning to you too. Lance, Coach, I seen you on your Facebook yesterday. You've been a sports editor for newspapers and had an anniversary yesterday. Happy anniversary to you. Didn't know you were my age. Haha. So I started as a reporter back in the, a journalist, I guess you could say, in the late 80s, and then somewhere, I guess it was yesterday, 96. That's when I took over the first time I took over as a sports editor for a publication. Did that for, I want to say, a year before I elevated to another position that was sports editor / courtroom reporter, and just over the years and decades moved on to different spots. I really enjoy the industry, but as probably most of you are aware, the newspaper industry, it's in pretty rough shape nowadays. It's almost non-existent. So that's when I started getting more into other aspects to help replace that income I lost from the journalism world. All right, Frank the Tank, he wants the most picks he can get out of the top 100 Go Lions. I'll go with that. It is possible. Bo, I'm holding out for a hero, an edge. All right, Bo, what edge do you want, and what are you willing to give up to go get said edge? All right, Lance at Dr. Detroit. Let's see. These things look so much like the 2008-ish uniforms, other than the pants. Yeah, and that's kind of where I was thinking when I first saw them, at least the tops. I mean, I get there's some differences for sure, but you add in the pants and then the helmet, that's where I think they look vastly different. All right, Burger Time. To making a donation possible, thanks again, Dan. I really appreciate taking time out of your busy day to contact me and Matt. Truly appreciate it. No worries, man. It's for a great cause. What you guys are doing, it really helps a lot of people out. So no problems at all, man. More than welcome to help you guys out. More than happy, I should say. See, Frank the Tank Eastside, you have a great show. No BS. Go. Hey, thanks for that, man. I enjoy it. Hopefully you guys do too. John King, good morning, crew. Hope we can trade up to get a impact player. No reason to draft guys you will eventually have to cut. Yeah, I would say that. And the big question is, obviously, I mean, you're seeing it, everybody on this chat and in other media outlets. Who are they targeting? And it's probably not just one person. I know we've chatted about it in the past. It'd be my guess the Lions are looking for 2 to 4 very specific players that, hey, we trade up to pick 15, pick 14, pick 19, whatever it is. We know one of these guys is more likely going to be there, and we're okay with getting any one of them. So that's my guess, at least, John. All right, Hooker Time. Hey, Coach, I just stepped down from coaching varsity basketball. I coached for over 30 years at all levels, last 10 at varsity. Great ride. Well, congrats to you, man. As being somebody who's coached like you for a while, you put in a lot of time, you put in a lot of effort, you give up a lot of yourself and a lot of your time with your family and friends. And the fact that you've done it for 30 years, man, or over 30 years, that's something, man. So I hope you enjoy it. I hope you enjoy some free time. And I'll say this, man, congrats to you, man. I know the last time I stepped away from coaching to get into scouting, I didn't notice it right away, but probably by the end of the first year, that's when I started, my body's just so, in my mind, it was so conditioned to being here, doing that, or looking at this, or, just certain normals. That's when it took me a little while to readjust. And, my guess is you will too. But either way, man, congrats on a heck of a ride. So congrats, Hooker Time. All right, Dave Bing, greetings, salutations, Duke crew, exclamation point. It would be great if we could get up high enough for one of the few elite rookie edge rushers. Thoughts on that? Yeah. To me, and nobody asking me, but to me, that would probably be the most logical spot, because I do think this particular draft is very deep at wide receiver, very deep at offensive line. It's not incredibly deep, in my opinion, at defensive edge nor cornerback. So if you're really trying to get an impact defensive player, I think you got to go up to get them. It's no disrespect to the guys outside of the top few. It's just they're not those dudes. And you guys have heard me talk about Marshawn Kneeland a ton. I think he's got tons of potential, but that's the problem with Kneeland. It's all potential. I can't promise he's going to work out and be something. I can tell you he's got very, very specific and rare gifts that a lot of other people do not have. It doesn't mean he will eventually evolve into somebody that is a stud. I will say this: Dallas Turner is a stud. When I watch him and grade him, he's off the charts. Now, can you trade up enough to get him? I guess it depends on what you're willing to part with. So in my opinion, if the Lions are going to make a trade up, they're going after one of the corners or one of the edges. And then in the second round, third round, whatever you have left, now you can address the offensive line or wide receiver. With all that also being said, it does seem like Brad Holmes favors in the first round. Favors doesn't mean he's all over it, but he does favor offensive players. I think just because he wants the really elite of the elite ones. That's why I know about a month ago we talked about Brock Bowers. I could totally see the Lions, if he fell to a spot that was reasonable for him, going after him, because he is a weapon. Without question, he's a matchup problem, especially if you put him out there with Hockenson, Gibbs, Laporta, Jameson Williams, St. Brown. There's just, you put so much stress and pressure on a defense, especially defenses nowadays. They're almost handcuffed because there's very few things they can do, let alone how they can tackle you. Yeah, I could see that being a real problem, but we'll see what happens in less than a week. All right, JDC, the black and Honolulu blue division. There you go. I like it, JDC. Hooker time. Do you know Coach Roy Johnson at Beaverton? He just retired. 50 years for him. I know who he is. I've scrimmaged against some of his teams once or twice over the years, but that's about it. I want to say when I was at Kalamazoo Central, we did something with them, but it's been a minute. I know that. I do know Chad Conklin over at Madawan. He's coached 32 years. I know his dad. His cousin, Tim, was an assistant coach of mine at Lawton High School for a number of years. And then when I stepped away to go to other coaching opportunities, Tim took over for me. So you are starting to see a lot of people that have coached, like you were saying, Hooker time, for over 30 years. They're hitting that wall where some of them are starting to move on to other avenues. I just found out, true story, last week, if I coach 7 more years in public school systems, I get a pension. I was like, how the heck is that possible? I'm not even a teacher. It's because of all the years I've been coaching in different public school systems. And no, I don't anticipate I'll be around 7 more years coaching in public school systems. All right, Trump's, it's going to be a big ugly. It could be, man. I could totally see that. And like I said, the Lions and Brad Holmes seem to in the first rounds favor offensive players, so that would make some sense. Trey, what's good? All question mark. Hooker time. That's a long time, long ride, man. Exclamation point. Enjoy your free time. Where were you at? Fair enough. Bo, big ugly edge. There you go. Big ugly edge. It is. Hookadoo. Good morning, Dan, and all the fellow Do crew. Back at you. Hopefully, a great one. Bo, konnichiwa, kitty. There you go. Robert G. Well, that shoots my wishes for the Keister. I wanted them to trade their pick for Surtain. It could be, man. I mean, as much as I'm reporting, or Dave Burkett, or Jeremiah or Daniel Jeremiah, who knows, man? I mean, maybe could it be Robert G? I'll use the William Shatner thing. Could it be that they're putting out all these words and stuff about trades up to try to force Denver to come down in an asking price that's more agreeable for Detroit to make the trade? Because if not, you're Brad Holmes. You're telling them, hey, man, if you don't work with us on this, then we're just going to go get this guy or that guy or whatever. So it's all best guess at this point. All right, Darcy, greetings and salutations to the Do crew. Good morning to you, Darcy, and hopefully have a great one. Bo, could Surtain still happen? Sure. And until the Lions get through the draft, it really till that first round picks moved or selected, it's still possible, man. George, greetings, salutations, all. I'm happy if we trade for Surtain. I think a lot of people would be 100% with that, George. All right, Frank the Tank. One more thing about to go into work. Do you have the best you have the best podcast on show? Thanks for that. Go Lions, and thanks, Frank. Thanks very much, man. I don't know if I'm number 1, number 2, number 49. My mom probably says I'm probably not even in the top 10. I mean, that's just how my mom's wired. So, hey, I just enjoy it. You know, somebody else is number 1 or number 2. Great. I just enjoy it. Hopefully you guys do too. But thanks for the kind words, Frank the Tank. All right, Robert G. Not sure how Bo Booth, but I guess anything is possible, Brad. It is. And that's probably one thing we all agree on, whether you're a trade up person, trade for Surtain person, trade back person, whatever it is. The fact that we're all guessing and we really don't have a firm read on what's going to happen, that's kudos to Brad Holmes in the scouting department. It does seem like, according to Dave Burkett, Daniel Jeremiah, the people I chat with still in Detroit media, that it does sound like there's more people leaning towards trading up, but who knows? It could all be a ruse. All right, Eddie, what do you got? Good morning, everyone. I think Holmes has more smoke screens happening right now than anyone would guess. And that's probably part to the point. Yeah, he could be misdirecting everybody. All right, Mike the Marine, thumbs up, Duke Crew for Dan campaign. There you go. Thank you for that. Yeah. Thank you, Robert. Susan, what do you got? Great salutations, Coach. I know you speak well about other channels' thumbnails, but yours have really come along nicely. I think they jump off the screen. Thanks for that. I've spent a lot of time in the last, couple months trying to work on them, to develop them, make them more enticing, I guess. I think when I first started out with the channel and the show, I just slapped some stuff together, man, because I didn't know what I didn't know, and I didn't know how to do more. But probably like any profession, the longer you do it, you learn how to do things better. So I think they look better, but probably other people say they probably don't. So everybody has their own opinion. Uncle Buzz, does Nike still produce their product in Asian sweatshops? That I can't speak on. I don't know. Don't really have an idea what Nike does or doesn't do, but who knows, man. All right, see, Bo, I'm usually big on DBs. That's what I've played, but get an edge. Go get us as far as necessary, however you have to, and find a way to get Surtain. Trade every pick, this year if you have to. Yeah, I would be way okay with that. Robert G, Waka Waka Don, woo, woo, the slow woo. There you go for you, Bo. Woo, bird. Yes. Yeah, we'll have to get some of those shirts. And what I'm thinking about doing is, like you guys know, I used to dress up like Ric Flair. I'll do the goggles, do the wig, maybe have the robe on, point at the camera and then put woo across it. So we'll probably try to have some fun trying to make those this weekend. And then you guys let me know your thoughts. We'll put it up on the web store or whatever. And if you guys think it's good, then let me know, man. All right, Matthew, what I agree. Salutations. Good morning, everyone. Super Bowl or bust. Woo! 100%. And good morning to you, Matthew. Merc time. Good morning, Matt. Silver Surfer. Good morning, Coach, and everyone else. I have to tell you, after many, many years, I am happy about our uniforms. The colors you carry into battle matter to me. For almost 30 years, I wondered, and now you wonder less. So I'm glad you like them, Surfer. Uncle Buzz, I'm on the bird train, by the way. There you go. Fair enough. Robert G, oh, yeah. There you go. The Macho Man. Yeah, maybe we'll have to get a Macho Man edition, too. Silver Surfer, I wondered why the Lions didn't change from the classic 90s uniforms. Certain things you cannot better. What is right is perfect. Yeah, my favorite uniforms were the old throwbacks to the 1920s. I get the only bust them out every once in a while, but I really enjoy those. But maybe I enjoy them because you only see them every once in a while. I've always liked the way they kind of stood out and just kind of old school attire, but I like those ones. And it's nothing against the new ones. I'm just saying those are my favorite. One funky Big Eddie, considering that supposed insiders have said everything thing from trading up to 12, back to 45, from taking guard to a safety to a quarterback or player trade for the 29th, maybe. Yeah, and to your point, One Funky, I think that's part of the best part of it is that the Lions are really in a spot where everything's on the board. And we've talked about it forever. They can do anything they want, and we'd all probably sit there and go, it makes sense. Outside of quarterback in the first round or running back, I think everything else is on the board. I could see if there was a dominant linebacker they had high grades on. I could see safety. I could see corner. I could see edge. I could see offensive line, wide receiver, tight end. So we'll see what shakes out in less than a week. All right, Bo, I like the 90s uniforms as well. Yeah, those were pretty nice. Brandon, jerseys are fire. All right, fair enough. Moonscar, silver and Honolulu blue are my colors that matter. Exclamation point. Lions pride never dies. Exclamation point. We just multiply. There you go. Colors, colors, colors. Yes, one of my favorite. Was it 80s? I think it was 80s movies. Is Colors. All right. Famous. RW. New unis are fire. Exclamation point. Roster signs will matter for us in the draft. We won't use our whole allotment. Some picks will be traded for next year. Yeah, and I could totally see that where we move on to some of this year's picks to acquire 2025 or 26 picks. So, yeah, that would make sense to me. Mike, what do you got? Good morning, Dan and crew. Back at you, Mike. Hopefully you have an outstanding one. David, what do you got? I'm not impressed with the uniforms. Let's get to the draft. Me too, man. I'm ready for the draft. The uniforms are nice and everything. But to me, I mean, man, you're going to wear something when you're out there. So I don't really see a huge edge one way or the other with them. But you know what? They are for marketing. They are for new sales. So I get why they do it. Moonscar, better mic sound today, Dan? Hey, I'm not sure what it was because I didn't do anything different. Maybe it was just a bad connection yesterday. So apologies for it. Sometimes, I guess it happens. Caboose, what do you got? Don't give up the second pick. I would prefer we didn't. But I just wonder what it's going to cost to move up that far. Maybe you can get away with a first and a third and then, something else later. So we'll have to see what they work out. Weston Line, greetings, salutations, Dan from the UK. Well, thanks for that, Weston. And hopefully you're having a great day. I think it's probably about noontime there or right around there. Silver Surfer, even the black uniforms, which I thought would be banned from the Lions' glorious colors, are acceptable due to the blue helmet. Thank goodness they didn't put black stripes on the home and away ones. Hey, people wiser than me at marketing or came up with these things. So some people really seem to like them. Some people are kind of mad on them. I'm indifferent on them. I like them. So, Steve, what do you got? Woo! My first time. Well, congrats to it, and hopefully you're enjoying it. And thanks for the woo, Steven. Bo, definitely good sounds this morning. Yeah, again, no idea what happened yesterday. Just it had to be something with the connection. I'm still just kind of mystified by the computer trying to block out my shirt. I'm invisible Dan today. All right, Rocky, good morning. All trading up for offensive line. Could be. It could definitely be on the table. Mike, what do you got? I hope they move up for edge. To me, that would probably be the most logical, but they're not asking me for my opinion. All right, Silver Server. Thanks, Sheila. Exclamation point. It all starts with her. It does, and it has. She's revitalized this franchise, and real quick, she brought in Spielman, as we chatted about yesterday. He gave his thoughts on who to hire as a coach. Then, obviously, they gave their thoughts on Brad Holmes. It seems like everybody was pretty on board with him. Hey, man, this organization, you can say what you want about the last 70 years since the 57 championship. You could make the argument they were one of the better teams in the 90s. But whatever you want to say, for the most part, it's been a roller coaster ride for most Lions fans, but we're no longer appearing to be in that kind of time frame. Everything looks uphill from here. It looks like we're on top of top of the mountain, I guess you want to say, Mount Olympus, and the Lions look like they're one of the best ran organizations. Let that sink in. We look like one of the best ran organizations in the entire NFL right now. Rocky, defense for free agency, offense for in draft. That does seem to be fair, Rock, that does seem to be Brad Holmes' mantra. Could he deviate it from it this year just because of what few spots you want to fill in this year? I mean, it is possible. Nothing should be a firm rule. It should be on an individual basis. So we're all guessing what they're going to do. we're all probably going to be wrong come Thursday. Mr. Nico, dynasty or bust? I'll take that. And good morning to you, Mr. Nico. Surfer, and they brought back the blue face mask. Yep. Man, that is just icing on the cake. Fair enough. Matthew, love the picture of Amon-Ra in the black jersey with the electric blue helmet and blacked out visor. So cool. That would be my first jersey, black Amon-Ra, then J-Mo, Sewell, Hutch, Gibbs, Laporta, Goff, etc. Fair enough, and go with that. All right, Bo, the Kirby strut, there you go. Steven, need to get that kicker. Yeah, from the Panthers. Yeah, I'd be way okay with getting Bates. Miles Marker, good morning. My favorite Lions interview yesterday was Kirby Joseph. The man was genuinely giddy and with the light to be back with the Lions this season and looking like firepower in the black uniform. Yeah, a lot of people seem to be liking those, and my guess is those are your home uniforms for the foreseeable future. Silver Server, question, Coach, what happened to that beautiful helmet with a classic Lions logo? Do we have it? Will it be used? Who knows, man? I've got no kind of inside info or even good or bad guesses on what they'll do with that. Rocky, Aleem, a little upset on uniform leak. Fair enough. I think there were some players that were less than happy that it came out before they did their presentation. With that also being said, I think maybe the Lions might have been in on the leaked information because as soon as that stuff came out, their video pops up about, man, who knew this leak would happen and, yada, 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 they've kind of played into it. Now, it's possible they pieced that thing together real quick, or maybe just in case it leaked out, they had something prepared. But, at the end of the day, you got so many people and so many different companies on top of these things. That's why it often does happen where leaked information gets out. It's like sometimes I'll put it this way, when it comes to information sometimes I obtain, it's real hard to keep 100 people silent. And unless that's why, like, when it comes to the war room, I have no doubt there's 1 to 2 people that really know the draft grades that Brad Holmes and the front office have on each of these guys because they don't want that information getting out. But when you're talking about everybody getting together, talking about uniforms, it's going to get out. When you're talking about, hey, the phones rang, Brad Holmes or whoever was on the phone with somebody, you get people that unfortunately, I got to be careful how I say this, they probably add to their yearly income by getting information out. And you have it in every form of reporting. Courtroom reporting, I can tell you, it's huge. If there's a big case coming out with a blackout order on it issued by the judge, somebody who's allowed to be in that courtroom gets out. Let's say they make $70,000 a year normally. Man, if they can add an extra $5,000 to $10,000 to that paycheck for the year by getting certain details out, they're going to do it. And it's unfortunate, but it does happen. All right, Manbear, holla, dude crew. There you go. And good, hola to you too, Manbear. Bo, what do you got? I'd be happy to give away the 30-second. Fair enough. We'll make that happen. Ed, good morning, Coach and Duke crew. New jerseys are okay, but I'm more of a traditional Lions fan. Yeah, you heard me talk about my favorite ones are the 1920s throwback ones. But hey, this means the other ones are bad. Trey, the blue helmets are fire. Glad they brought the black jerseys back. Rise and shine and happy Good Friday to the Duke Group. Same to you, Trey. Hopefully you're having a great one, man. And I agree with you. The blue helmets look real good. I thought they knocked it out of the park on that. The black jerseys, you add that along with the pants and the helmet. That's a real nice setup there. And I'm going to guess you're going to see those more often than not. I think you're going to play up to them. And I would too if I'm the Lions because of the jersey sales. And let's not get it, misdirected here. Part of the reasons every team does these new uniforms every couple of years is to get new sales as far as jerseys and merchandise. All right, Dan, what do you got? This one's for the Dan of the Don. Woo! 100%. And man, Don Burr has opened up a floodgate. Let's see, Doug, what do you got? If they leaked, they are looking to trade up with 2 teams. Telling other potential suitors, sharpen your pencils. The potential players to move up for is offensive tackle or cornerback or wide receiver, a stud one, no less. Okay, we'll go with that. And I was caught off guard a little bit yesterday when I got the info about the offensive tackle, the Washington kid. whose names I murder all the time, so I'm not going to do that. I know his first name's Troy, so we'll go with that. But at any rate, I was surprised by that. The edges, I think most of us weren't. Could it be, as you're suggesting, Doug, that we go after a wide receiver, a real dominant one? Whew, that would be scary to think what this offense could be like. It would just almost be unguardable. And maybe that's the idea behind it, Doug. Maybe you're onto something. You put so much firepower out there on the offensive side of the field that it's just, inconceivable to that a defense, most defenses are going to be able to contain you for all 4 quarters of a game. So maybe you're onto something. Broski, I didn't notice any change in uniform except for the all black and blue ones, which look like they stole it from the Panthers. They are the Detroit Panthers now. There are some similarities for sure. And good morning to you, Broski. Ed, I would trade Hooker in the 29th pick and another 6th-round pick to move up and draft a quarterback, Nix or JJ. Fair enough. So, Ed, I get the impression you would be okay with moving off Goff at that point. So I'm moving away from Goff, I should say, in a year. Mike the Marine, Dan, you should watch Dr. Lasso's severe concerns on injured players in the draft. Draft cornerback Cooley McKinstry, defensive tackle Johnny Noon, and DT Alua. I'll check that out. And thanks for that, Mike. I will look into that. Robert G, how about question mark on the T-shirt? The Do Crew. Woo. I'll talk to Jen about that and see what she can come up with. Thanks for that suggestion there, Robert. Doug, personally, with the talent that is available in the top 15 picks, I don't want a top 29 player to blend in the stacked team we have. We can't hide 7 to 8 draft picks. Impact now and in 2025. I think most of us are thinking on the same page that it's just we're so deep this year that, unless you're going to just be okay with cutting some pretty decent talent just to keep some of these draft picks, you really are almost forced into a trade-up scenario or a trade some of the picks for future years. So maybe that's where they go. Robert G. or woo to the Do Crew. Fair enough. Bo, Motor City Maulers. Woo! 100%. Bo, maybe not. Do Crew. Woo! Sounds good. There you go. Robert, also not just an idea. Fair enough, man. Ed, division or bust, trade Hooker or bust. Dr. Lasso is fired. There you go, Scott. And thanks for that. And thanks for that, Ed. Let's see. Randall, what do you got? So glad you all ain't talking 2 hours about uniforms. No, I'm okay with it. I mean, give the uniforms their due, but at the end of the day, they're still just uniforms. They're not going to egregiously impact the team. Gary, good morning, all. Grit for life! Exclamation points. If they are trading up, we can count on getting Surtain out. I want a defensive end, and I want whomever Dan wants. Fair enough. So don't forget, in case you guys are watching and want to plan ahead, Sunday we'll do the last interactive Do Crew mock draft. We'll do that in the morning. You guys all know how it works. The AI simulates, everybody else's pick. I leave it up to majority rule who you guys want to draft. And keep that in mind. We have to go by just what they offer. They do offer some trade scenarios. I'm not going to bother with the trade up scenarios. It takes too much time. And, if it rejects it, then we got to start all over. So I ain't going to mess with that. But we'll leave it up to you guys who we draft, take through. And then Tuesday, I'll do my final mock draft. And again, I'll use the personality trait charts, value charts, things that a pro scout would use. My guess is for next week, Wednesday, you guys have been asking for a breakdown of what it's like to be a professional scout. I'll probably do that then because, the very next day is the NFL draft. And I'm going to guess that Thursday morning, everything will be just draft talk related. If there's any news that's hit by then, incorporate that. And I'll try to make the day in the life of a scout video as interactive as possible. I know that YouTube did send me something about last week I did the stuff with the video breakdown on Marshawn Nealon. They've told me that's a no-go. I can't do that. So I'm going to have to find a different way to incorporate video for us to analyze. If not, then I'm going to have to find a way to use photos. So I'm working on it. So just so you guys know. All right, Ed, your woo really echoes across the lake. The fish are UAE, so I don't want to stop Bing! There you go. Phil, retirement is the same thing. Fair, or yeah, we'll go with that. Good morning, Phil, by the way. All right, Moonscar at Bo. At this point, somewhere on that T-shirt in small letters, it's got to say hello, woo, Burr. There we go. Kurt Steele, the infamous one. What up, though? What up, Kurt? Hopefully, you're having a great one, my friend. And thanks for coming on earlier this week. JDC Magic 8 Ball says, woo! All right, Bo, what do you got? Moonscarp, put it on an all do crew stuff. There you go. There you go. Rando, love your insight, Dan. I love Turner too, but realistically, he is still a 50-50 chance as they all are. Yeah, I would agree with that 1,000%. So it's all best guess at this point. Steven, been a Lions fan since 1953. Want to get a good kicker and a good edge. You know what? Hey, yeah, if you get that, this team's only going to get stronger. And whatever they're going to do, I'm just excited to see what they're going to do with this draft. Can they get the Michigan Panther kicker? Who knows, man? I still think it's a crapshoot to get him because every team's going to be on that guy. And somebody's going to make an emotional decision and pay him a ton is my anticipation. Unless he just falls flat on his face the rest of the UFL season, yeah, that dude's going to get paid. And I'm just not sure Brad Holmes is the guy who's going to overpay for especially a kicker. But been wrong before, man. Trumps, what do you got? Hockenson plays for Min. Yes, he does. He does play for Minnesota. Devin, good morning. Good morning to you, too. Hopefully I'm having a great one. Doug, you look at St. Brown. He's looking at commanding $25 to $30 million a year. Makes you realize how valuable a wide receiver for a 5-year contract can be. We don't need a wide receiver yet, but over 4 to 5 years, yeah, I'll go with that. Moonscar, what up, though, Kurt? There you go. Kurt, I'm loving the new unis and helmets. Yes, a lot of people are. I would say, yeah, they've raised some interest, I would say, across the Lions fan base. All right, Rocky, win now mode, trade the first and next year's first. It will be number 32 anyways. Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, it would be a good point. Move up to top 10, maybe Brad Cook's best in later rounds anyways. You know, outstanding point with the number 32 pick next year. So it'll be interesting if you did that scenario. What can you get back from the other team? Can you get maybe some third rounds, fourth rounds, whatever? You know, that's what I would want to know, Rock. All right, Great Lakes. Good morning, coach and crew! Exclamation point. The black on black uniforms are awesome! Exclamation point. I did like the gray with gray better than the all whites though. Draft fever now. Woo! 100%. Yes, I think everybody. I mean, you start getting to Monday morning and Tuesday morning next week. That's where I think people are really just going to start dialing in. I think the last week there hasn't been a ton of news, so people kind of back off a little bit. And hey, let's be fair. When you get past the draft, about a week after it, that's when things really take a nosedive for about 2 months, unless there's some unforeseen events happening. All right, Broski, at Kurt Steele, good morning. What up, though? 100%. Miles, Dr. Lego's draft injury video is out. He divides into 3 classes of risk. Well done. Others might want to check it out. It'll make you think about Brad's choices. Fair enough. And yeah, I'll have to check it out. Matthew, if you do the Ric Flair on the woo shirt, then you have a Mountain Dew shirt on. Yes, then you should have a Mountain Dew shirt on. I'd have to be careful with that due to copyright. I know that maybe I could put a can that's green, but with the Ric Flair, I mean, it's going to be me dressed up. And you could say, man, you could say it looks like Ric Flair or the guy from White Lion, or man, I don't know. You could probably come up with 20 other people. Here we go. Jen Savage Fit, LOL. All I keep hearing during my workout is, woo! Do some workouts up there, will you? Yes, we will do that on air. So, yeah, Jen's filming her fitness videos for her fan base. Trump's all the way to the top of the world. Wildlife Foundation. Hoorah! Yeah, there you go. And Wildlife Foundation. Yes, I concur. Rocky, keep the WFC patch off the uniforms. Last 4 jinx. You know, I know some people brought that up yesterday. And to be fair, William Clay he's been past us now for a while. It's probably okay at this point. We all understand what he's done for the franchise, his impact on it. but I understand if they no longer wish to continue those patches. Broski, WWF is better than WCW. Fair enough. All right. Trump's good morning, Bear. There you go. Broski at Trump's Genius. Good morning, sir. Detroit fan report. Let's go Lions. 100%. JDC Jen Sandwich Fit. Work is 4-letter word. It is. All right, Rando, what do you got? It's weird to be a Lions fan now. I'm 57 and I feel relaxed. That will do right things. Yes, older fans don't know how to act. I know when Jared Goff came out and said, a week or so ago about the media being negative, yada, yada. I think some of that is just you've had so many decades of disappointment and things just blowing up the wrong way. I'm guessing where that's a lot of it comes from. Because really, like we've talked about before on the show, they do well again this year. I mean, that's 3 straight seasons of upward growth. That becomes your norm. And if they can do it for 3 or 4 more seasons, now you're talking you've gone over 5 years of nothing but winning, the majority of a decade. At some point, you've got to move on from the past. Yes, it was disappointing. Yes, it was the down times. But you know what? Don't forget to celebrate the new times, too. Matthew, your sound system needed a do yesterday. Yes, whatever it was, man, I don't know. It just must have been a bad connection or something. And again, I have to turn the sound off when I'm talking to you guys. That way I don't get feedback and etc. But hey, I'm just glad it's fixed now. Doug, only trade back I can wait would be a team willing to overpay. Some team with a decent project 2025 pick or 2 early seconds, which is where I can target some top 40 to 50 choices. I prefer trade up. Yeah, and if you stay at 29 and you're waiting for people to come to you to trade, chances are there's probably going to be a couple teams wanting that specific player, probably for the 5th-year option at 29, and that's where you probably can get somebody to overpay. Bo, what do you got? I had to snipe that mic yesterday. Yeah, I'm glad you did, man. I'm glad it's fixed now for whatever the cause was. Broski, Bo Booth, nice shot. There you go. Robert G. Dan, you're looking like you have that Matrix effect. Yeah, I don't know why I've worn this shirt before on here, but I'm guessing because it's kind of tealish blue that, the system of the program's taking it out. We haven't played a down this season. No, we haven't. We are, as a coach, what I would say is, well, I guess in football, you're in the NFL level, you're 0-18 until you win a game. Because hopefully we're going to get in the playoffs for your 18th game. So when you get that first one, well, now you're 1-17, 2-16. You guys get the gist. But you have to earn wins. You're not you have to get rid of losses, potential losses. All right, Randall. Brad called me yesterday and said he is all in on T from Yale. Fair enough. We'll go with that, Randall. Bo, you gave me the idea, broski. Fair enough. Moonscar, quality of comments are down like 50% today. I guess the water really is going to be out for a while. Yeah, hopefully he's okay, man. Hopefully. All right, let's see. Broski at Bo Booth, I would have to use my DDM4 V7 Pro with green dot. Don't have a scope. Well, we got to get you a good one then, man. We got to get you one. Michael, what do you got? I used to, I see us as not having any glaring holes. So draft the best available regardless of position. Yeah, I'm with you on that, Michael. Just go out there and get the best players because you know what? That makes the team better. And I agree with you 100% there. Mike, we need a nasty edge rusher to free up Hutch. I'll go with that. And I think DJ Reader will do a lot of that. But now if you can put somebody else out there too, yeah, this defensive line could get real good. Bo Broski, I used to a dot site on my crossbow. Fair enough. Mike, it would also help the DBs. It would, because the more pressure you put on the quarterback, the less time they have to cover. I agree with you, Mike. Randall, I can't believe everyone talking so much about uniforms. Hey, just all the channels are looking for content to put out there. I get it. So it is what it is. You give it another day or so, it's in the background. Nobody's going to be talking about it anymore. All right, Michael, don't care what they wear. Just win. Just win, baby. I'm with you on that. I'm going to draft the best beer next Thursday. Very good. What is the Dew Crew's recommendation with first round grades? Myself and I'm a rum guy. So I will probably after the draft, I may have a rum in a Coke or something like that. I don't know, something like that. And Robert G, if you look good, you play good, though. Fair enough. I'll go with that. Could be a level of truth to that. Doug, as you mentioned, the limited persons who really have the, quote, Lions draft grades will determine how much they are willing to pay to move up. News is cheap. Decisions are expensive. War room stuff, 100%. And what's one thing when we do the scouting video, it's one thing you gotta probably dive into as a scout is everybody's gonna tell you, hey, this guy's good, that guy's good. I remember I got sent over to the Middle East once to do a grading or evaluation, I guess you could say, on an athlete. And all the chatter was this 15-year-old kid was the next real McCoy that, just going to crush things. And let me tell you, in different parts of the world, it's not like here in the United States where, kids go to junior high or middle school and then high school and whatever. It's one of the unfortunate parts about being a scout is you go to some places when kids are turned, 7 to 9 years old, they're out of school systems. I mean, they're basically in I'm trying to think of the right way to put it, a club or franchise to just teach them that particular sport. And they're going to, by the time they're 13, 14, or at the latest 15, they really need to get a pro contract with a franchise to for that particular group to get paid or reimbursed for all the investments they put in with them. And that's the tough part about it. So where I'm going with this is people can say there's something, other people can say, hey, you got these grades on it. But this one particular time, this kid was supposed to be just, the next thing. I went there pen in hand, ready to issue a contract for a couple of specific teams to bid on them. My problem is I got there and watched them. Maybe it was a bad day. Maybe it was whatever. I spent 2 hours. I said, I can't offer him a contract. And I have to do that knowing that if that kid doesn't get a contract, that kid's probably on the streets. He's got no education, probably can barely do math or write. And yeah, it's not fun, but it's part of the realities of being a scout is you have to make the best decisions for those franchises. And I guess what I can just say is the vast majority of opinion of the media or the fan bases typically aren't in line with what most scouts think. And I'm not an NFL scout, so I can't speak on anything about that. But it's, to your point, Doug, yeah, the war room stuff is vastly different than what the media stuff and fan base stuff is. All right, Bo, it's better to look good than feel good. Fair enough. I'll go with that, Bo. Mile marker. Mike DeMarine, Gunny. Didn't see you chat. Yeah, Dr. Leo, he's on top of it. Yeah, he's apparently good at what he does. Smoke you some. Hunting does sound fun. Yeah, by the way, yep. Trump, step up the Lions Talk live. Woo! There we go. We'll try to bring it up to a whole new level. Broski and Bo Booth, I have a magnifier on it as well, which I thought was stupid until I started using it in the green dot 18-inch barrel with a 1-7 twist. I have an extremely accurate AR-15 from a distance. Very good. You can gun them. Grizzly trigger. There you go. Trump's mine are slated for close quarters combat. Fair enough. Don, another good show. Thanks. Hey, anytime, Don. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully you have a great day, my friend. Broski, Trump's genius. I have my variety of her close quarters as well. There you go. Bo, I hate laser from CQC. Very good. I have laser. Excuse me. Trump, yes, sir. From 50 below, yeah, into 556. There you go. Troy, our jersey reveals and designs are tenfold compared to the Jets. Love the new look Lions. 100%. The Jets, I didn't see any real, and I'm not a Jets fan, but I didn't see any kind of real major change. I thought the helmet was a little different, but that was about it. All right, Michael, why the negativity on Hooker? Give him a chance to develop. I don't think anybody is being negative on him. At least I didn't catch it, so apologies if I missed it. I just think until he gets out there and shows what he can do, we're all guessing what he can do. All right, Doug, if you win the Super Bowl and trade away your first-round pick, you won't pick until 64. A lot of missed talent, in your opinion. Yep. Not giving up a number one, irresponsible. Just keep doing what you are doing now. Fair enough. Matthew, change the patches to woo. There you go. They put a little Ric Flair and woo on the uniforms. I'm down with that. Broski, Trump's genius. Love my 45 with hydro shokes. All right, there you go. Vodka, very good. Well, yeah, there'll be some vodka drinkers for sure, Bo. Robert G., have a great day to all you Doosters out there. 100% Robert G., hopefully have a great one. Brian, they will actually look like football players again. There you go. That is, hopefully they will. Rosie, if you look good, you feel good. If you feel good, you play good. If you play good, you get paid. That is a lot of truth to that. Randall, bourbon here. Fair enough. Bo, all done and dusted. See ya. All right. Very good. Trump, I just got carbon 45 clip. Love it. A lot of fun. Oh, I'm glad you enjoy it. Robert, see you, Bo Bro. There you go. One funky. The Panthers jerseys have a teal neckline and shoulder lines with white numbers. Lions have no color change on the neck, arm lines, and blue numbers. Ignorance must be bliss. Fair enough. Lions Talk. Hey, Michael Mike. What up, Doe? What up, Mike? How you doing? Hopefully having a great morning, my friend. Let's see. Broski. Really enjoy some good sipping tequila and good bourbon. Discovering high-end tequila changed my taste. Amazing. Well, hope you enjoy it, man. Let's see. Robert M&M in the house. Yes. Micro Mike, the living legend himself, is in the house. Rando, tequila is awesomeness. Fair enough. JDC. Mickey Smaltz sung to the Mickey Mouse theme. Just so you guys know, so most of you guys know the Sarge, Tony Libretto. Last year, the day before the draft, we did a live from a local liquor store here in town, a friend of mine's liquor store. We're going to try to set that up. If we do get it confirmed today, I'll put it out to you guys. Anybody wants to stop on out and be a part of the live show, they can be. But it would be in Kalamazoo, Michigan, Stadium Drive. I'll get it confirmed and the time and let you guys know. I almost forgot to mention that, so apologies. Moonscar, what up, Lions Talk? Exclamation point. Nice collaboration video yesterday with a former NFL running back. Fair enough. Yep, and it was. I caught that, yes. Lions Talk, Chat Sports. Robert, what's up? There we go. Lions Talk or Michael Mike. Thanks, Moonblade. Yep. Okay, Rocky, trading first pick before Super Bowl win. Very good. Ranting Q. What up, peeps? I love the new uniforms. Ranting Q. How do I become a Dooster? Just be a part of here every morning, man. Just be a Dooster. Let's see. Don Burr. You know, Don, if we do get the woo shirts out there, we're probably going to have to counter that with some ban the woos just for you, man. So we got to give you options, right? So I'll work on that too, Donnie. Phil, support the woo 100%. Moonscar. My apologies, Dan. Happy you are here. Hey, no worries, man. I'm happy I'm here too, man. So hopefully you're happy to be here too. Ranty Q, I will be in Jamaica on Friday. Check you on the draft. Fair enough. Go enjoy it, man. Go have a great time. Phil, if you were here, if you are here, you're a Dew Crew member. That's 100% correct. Ranty Q, Kalamazoo is where I'm at. We'll be there. Yep, I'll get you guys the information and such, and you guys can feel free to stop on out. Trump's woo banned communists. Fair enough. Man Bear, Lions Talk, Chat Sports. Good morning. Yeah, good morning to Micro Mike and everybody in the Dew Crew. Ranty Q, I need a woo shirt. I'll have to get on Jen to make that happen. Moonscar, May 10th, Lions Legends basketball game versus Van Buren. Yeah, Fraternal Order of Police. I know I'll be stopping out to check that out. Broski, the Woo Tang Clan. There you go. Moonscar, Paw Middle School. Yes, I will be there in support. Brian, I think picks 8 through 20 are going to be absolutely wild on draft night. They probably will be. You're probably going to see a lot of people moving up and down and all around in the draft. Ranty Q, peace out, peeps. Go have a great time, my friend. Go have a great vacation. All right, guys, it's been over an hour, so I'm going to wrap this one up. Go ahead out, hit the gym before getting back before the opening bell, and then work today. If there is some breaking news later today, I'll get to you as quick as I can. Otherwise, I hope you guys, if you got a free second, hit the subscribe button. Want to say we're like one person away from 6,400. Or I stand corrected now. We're at 6,402, so we're 98 people away from 6,500. If you enjoyed today's video, pretty please, with Mountain Dew on top, hit the thumbs up button. It helps the channel out. And we'll see you all on the next Lions Talk Live. Take care, everybody.